get this on one shot.
Rolling.
Okay, so this is a short video on the IP trade integration with Cisco IPICS. We're going to try and show you a couple of the features and functions here and how they mimic or parse some of the features of the IDC. This is the self-contained IP Trade Council. I'm going to log into it here. Now that I'm logged in, it shows me my channels that are available to me. You'll notice the top row of channels are actually shared lines, shared telephone lines. The next row of orange devices there are actually IPICS radio channels that have IPICS radios connected to them. And I have a private extension of 2013 is integrated in this. The way it's laid out right now is we have two separate phone handsets here, a left and a right for phone calls. They also do push to talk. And we have a gooseneck dispatch microphone and an external channel speaker here also. The terminal is all touchscreen. There's no mouse driven. Everything's touched by touch. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually activate the IPICS channels, turn them on like you do on an IDC. So you'll notice as I touch that one, the scanner channel come on. You're actually getting audio from the scanner channel at this point in time. I'm going to activate the rest of the channel. Now you can actually see it blinking midstream there as audio comes in, showing which channel. But I want to turn on each of the IPICS channels. So you see they change to green as they connect up. So at this point in time, if I were to transmit on the UHF channel from a portable, check 1, 2, you can see the audio is coming over on the UHF channel. And it is actually blinking, showing you that audio is coming in there and which channel it's coming in on. If I go to a VHF radio, you're going to see the VHF radio actually blink and show. And we'll go to the Nextel. And the Nextel beeps, and you actually hear it. So that's using our standard IPICS LMR gateway to do that. If I want to transmit on one of the channels, I reach up and actually press the UHF channel, and you can see now we're transmitting on the UHF radio. I'll turn the volume up a little bit so you can actually hear it. So I'm transmitting on this UHF radio. If we press the VHF, check 1, 2, 3, we're actually transmitting on the UHF radio at this point in time. I'm going to actually transmit on both radios, or now there's a call coming on scanner and on UHF. So you see it's doing multiple audios at the same time. You're hearing them come over the dispatch speaker. If I wanted to do an all talk, they're actually all selected, but let's say I wanted to do an all talk on the Nextel and the VHF, I can just have those two selected, and when I hit the speak button here, it's just the opposite. I'm transmitting on these three, and the other two aren't, so we have the all talk feature at that point in time. I'm going to turn these back on so they all go together. If I have them all selected and I hit this, we'll actually be transmitting on all of them. So that's like our all talk feature, mimics our all talk feature. We can individually mute a channel if we want to by bringing up the controls. You can see now I can actually turn the volume up and down by touching the screen on each of these. So you can individually set the volume, much like the IDC. If I were to hit the X button, you can see there's a little X on that speaker. So now that particular speaker would be muted at that point in time. You can see it's still muted. So now even though there's audio coming in over both scanner and dispatch, you're just really hearing the dispatch. So that's the push-to-talk features. I could actually move this conversation if I wanted to move this Nextel channel to this handset down here. You can see it actually moved down to this. Now at this point in time, I am using this handset here to talk on the Nextel radio. And it has a little push-to-talk button here. If I want to move it back to the gooseneck, I just release it from the handset square and it will go back up to the Nextel. Push to talk up here. Check 1, 2, 3. So that's how you can move calls between different audio sources also. I'm going to hit the master mute here to kill this a little bit. And actually, I've got these on, don't I? So it's not going. I need to make them. Let's see if I've got that.
Per hour. This app.
Backwards. Okay, now they're probably muted. They are. Okay. I want to mute the audio on the radio so we can see. Actually, let's unmute it. We'll let it come through. So the next thing I want to show you is the actual call queuing feature. So we're going to let the radio calls continue to come in just like they would be coming in if calls were coming in. The first thing I'm going to do is call the private line extension of this number. I'll turn this down just a little bit. So the private line number is 2013. So I'm going to call 2013. And you can see that's coming in on my private line here. It's not blinking on any of the shared lines. It's just saying I have a private call from 2013. Mark's office is the caller ID of the device. And to answer the call, I basically just press this. And at this point in time, I'm on the telephone as a phone call on that. I could put this call on hold, and you can see it goes into the hold queue up here. So we have call queuing and stuff. To answer put the call off of hold and bring it back in, I just touched the call. So that's calls coming in and out. I'm going to actually end this. I can put it on speakerphone by hitting this, and you can see now I'm actually on speakerphone. So it has speakerphone capabilities. Hit the end key, and we are ending that call. Next thing I'm going to show you is the shared line call queuing. So these numbers across the top here are shared lines, multiple calls. I'm going to call 2003. And you're going to see a call come into the queue here. It put the call on hold, which is why you hear the hold music of the calling party, because it's waiting for an operator to pick it up. It's in the queue, and it's flashing on each terminal. So if there was multiple of these terminals, they'd each have them going. If I answer this call, you'll see the call come out of queue and basically go to my handset. So now this call is actually on a telephone call. If I put this call on hold, it'll go back into the queue, so another operator could pick it up if you wanted to. I'm going to end that call though, or I'm going to pick the call up and end it. And the next thing I want to do is show you multiple calls in queue. So I'm going to make 4 phone calls to 2003, which would be like 4 numbers coming in. So there's the first call. I'm going to make a second call. I'd show this. You can show them coming into the queue here. So there's the second call. I'm going to make a third call to that number from another handset. So you're going to see a third call come into queue. And you can see these calls are blinking in as they're coming into the queue as shared lines. And I'm going to make a fourth call. So there is 4 calls in queue. All 4 calls are, in progress. They haven't been answered yet, so they're blinking. I could pick up either one of the calls. If I want to pick up this third call and I pick it up, you'll see that call came out of the queue and is now a call on this handset. I can pick up a second call, and that call will come out of queue and comes to the next handset. So calls coming in and out of the queue. If I were to put a call on hold, it's going to go into the hold queue and be placed back into the call queue for another terminal to pick up if need be. We do have conference and merge and transfer functionalities that work. So we have a lot of the basic telephony features like merge, etc. If I wanted to swap this phone call to this handset, I could hit the swap key and you can see it moves over to another handset. If for some reason that was a dispatcher, a supervisor monitoring or something like that. Going to end that call. And you can see we still have several calls in queue. You notice I answered the call over here. Or I can answer the call over here. So anywhere you touch the call, it's coming in and being answered. So I'm going to end these calls. So I think that's our basic contact center type call queuing that's happening.
You show the full duplex on the handset, the little blue button.
Oh, and if you don't want push to talk on the handset, you could turn it on, and then at that point in time, you will not have to actually hit push to talk, even on a phone call or a radio call. It will be full duplex at that point in time. So off is half duplex with push to talk, and there's a volume control on the handset itself.